in Nigeria is restructuring. Restructuring my foot. To hell with restructuring. Let's improve on the quality of governance. Let's work for the people. Let's invest in education. Let's create jobs. All this madness will evaporate.
With the case of insecurity that Nigeria, is experiencing now, our president think that creation of a state police might solve the problem, but unfortunately, some other big wig have a contrary opinion by thinking that creation of a state police might lead to anarchy and division of Nigeria. What do you have to say about that?
Anybody that is entertaining the fear of the police action during the days of Gowon, when Gowon declared a police action against a particular region, and of course that police action was actually what triggered the resistance, and from there the Nigeria Biafran war actually break out in that regard. So I do not know where the Northerners are coming from at this point, because they wouldn't want anything to obstruct Islamization agenda. They may not want anything to obstruct the Fulani agenda. They might not they won't want anything to obstruct conquest agenda. So they might be kicking against the state police using numerous of references like the Nigeria Biafra war, what Gowon did. They were declaring the police action against the eastern region, and from there it triggered war. And there's possibly that this man is already empowering the Oduduwa Republic, structuring everything around the Yoruba nation, and running a Yoruba induced government, and it might be in preparation that at the end of the day, Tinubu might use such policies to disintegrate Nigeria. The North is entertaining so much fear, why the South, who felt that no, we cannot continue like this, we should be able to run a state police where communities, but the problem Nigeria are going to face is that one, how are they going to sustain it? We have seen government come and go, can they be in a proper consultation and a formulation of policies and principles and duties, everything being highlighted down to the grassroots level, down to the local government level, where every local government. I think even if you run, you see, it is also dangerous, but when you talk about the state police in a Nigerian sentiment and understanding, because where we have, if it is not decentralized and you hand it over directly to the governors might use it, against each other. Why they are trying to create state police, they should also create local government police, and so that there will not be any form of a total and absolute abuse of power or total control of the structures of police, and there will be clashes of where is this authority coming from. Anything that is happening within the local government should be held by the local government, and the state police will operate at a certain level when the situation becomes very severe or become a threat to the state proper, where we say have federal police and all that. So I think to an extent, they're not kicking against it. For me, it's suspicious because it is in two ways. They do not trust Tinubu's government that declaring or establishing a state police that will be used against the North interest and possibly to defend a certain region and break Nigeria at the end of the day. So the idea is that state police is a grounded plan to break Nigeria. The northern leaders cries out, So, and if you look at it from another angle, for this president who had been an advocate of similar thing in the past, all of a sudden actually jettisoned it and coming to say, that he is going to think towards that direction, and which has a lot of people from the south, stakeholder has already, given him a thumb up for making that statement. But the thing is that, is he going to implement it? Because before you know it, so many experts, ideologists, and so many theories will start floating in. At the end of the day, it will find it that it will not be implemented and it will be automatically done.
That is why everybody is afraid, including me myself, that I'm afraid that Tinubu be able to give us this thing. And I want to be sincere with you. If Tinubu can give us this thing, honestly speaking, has laid the right path for Nigeria, because that is a decentralization, and is one of the cogent requirements, one of the fundamental requirements for decentralization of this country. If we can have state police, since we have done, with the issue of a tax reform bill, a issue of a fat generation and sharing, and the next thing is our security. If Tinubu can achieve all these things, I'm very sure we are on the right path. But my surprise is that people from the north, they are the one that's supposed to be championing creation of state police, so that they will have power to deal with their own security locally, not necessarily rely on federal government. And I saw one of them recently affirming, the idea of a state police, because in the interview of Tambua, he agreed with Mr. President on the state police.
Yes, because there's the confusion on how what they brought to the north has gone out of hand. They has gone out of control, and it is spreading, and has turned to a jihadist movement. So in that movement now, anybody that's against that movement will be seen as an opposite force, and at any point in time they can go after the person. The consequences, the politicians in the north are also facing those consequences, of what transpired, according to Dati Ahmed, how they sat down together and was able to invite missionaries, extremist missionaries, jihadists, to make sure that Jonathan leaves power.
Mujahideen.
Yes, that's what they did it, But I think to an extent they were not able to manage it very well. Then it has turned to a jihadist. See, my brother, I can tell you that so many theories, unless you are not at that level where you begin to see so many theories, philosophy, sociologies, people are coming up with so many things, countering each other at the end of the day. So that's why it's always difficult, when a region like the north has run into the confusion they brought to themselves, and now looking for options. Then how would you not trust that Tambo actually mean that he is truly in support of state police, because maybe he has seen that he has gotten a national acceptance in that regard. Today none actually want state police. Because when you bring state police, down to that, state police also have some things, that is very difficult if it's not well structured. When you get, and that's what I'm saying, that if you get to that level of state police now, we need to have local government police too. Yes, because see, they will try using it against each other politically and otherwise, and the federal can go to a level of appointing their stooges, or appointing loyalists to head state police, to head community local government police and all that, and that would, so that there should be an independent commission that is responsible in appointing CPs in the state and in the local government level. The same thing. Then I think we will know that it is properly structured. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu have been running away totally from restructuring Nigeria, but I think we are seeing a bit of it being pursued by APC government.
Actually, I would like a local problem to be solved locally, but at the same time, there is no problem in borrowing idea outside, and Nigeria is not the first country to practice, to have a state police. Also, even in the United States of America, they don't have a central police all the through. We have a FBI, we have even local sheriff, we have them. So I think Nigeria, can we borrow from the idea of those advanced countries, and we put each one of them at their own category. Federal police, this is where you can go. State police, this is your limit within the corridor of the constitution.
One of the most important things where people should engage in being conscious about security is response. If there's no immediate response to security challenges or threat, it's of no use. And that's why I'm saying that it should be structured more down independently to that local government, so that if there's anything at that local level, then there would have been intervention before the state police now can come. And they should be trained professionally and empowered professionally, to be able to achieve that. So it goes a lot on depending on the vision of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policy on that area. But if it is well structured, of course, we won't be having anything like banditry. We won't be having anything like Boko Haram invading our farmland and all that, and which most of the northern extremists will not want.
Oloyede just make a particular revelation that the narrative might change from this from this moment, that all this excuse of we are waiting for order from above, that they are going to remove it, that any military man that find himself in danger, or in a community where he is to find it in the danger, should prompt to reaction. Do you see this policy being implemented, apart from talking?
No, that is very important for us Nigerians to understand, that that we keep on reviewing some policies, and there should be innovations, and there should be reforms in that, so that we can get better and better security wise, given the kind of atmosphere we find ourselves. The black man has never been able to, especially Nigerian politicians, has not been able to be very decisive in trying to formulate good policies like that. At the end of the day, it will be thrown to the dustbin, or another government will come and again. What are we doing in terms of trying to create sustainability and continuity, which is very important in our political space? And with that we keep on repeating that and mapping out funding unnecessary things that we shouldn't have done as a result of corruption, as a result of lack of political will to achieve certain success once and for all. I think that's one of the reasons Nigeria has continued to somersault security wise.
Thank you very much.